What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. I got for you guys an unboxing to dig into here tonight. So let's go ahead and get in here and see what we have. I am not 100% sure what this is. I think I know what it is, but we will find out together. So, typical mailer bag here. And we have, okay, yes, I do know what this is. So, we have a Nedfoss box here. This is the Nedfoss coming in D2, and the name will come to me. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. Oh, man. I know what it is, but I can't think. They sent in a couple of different knives, and this one is eluding me here. So we have a nice little box, and then this one is coming with a nice little zipper pouch there. So that's a nice touch right off the bat there. Little faux carbon fiber pouch here. And, oh, you got a nice little sleeve there. I think I've gotten one of these before. You got a microfiber cloth. You got some instructions there. And then we have the knife here wrapped in a nice little cellophane baggie. Ooh, right off the rip, this is looking pretty good. Nedfoss's prices are really affordable, is a good way to put it. I have talked to various people, and from the knives that they have tested and had tested and sharpened, everything that Nedfoss has seems to be good to go when it comes to the steel choices. Their D2 is D2, and, you know, it's done fairly decently. I like this little thing right here. This ain't little, actually. This is actually a pretty big guy here. So you have a nice drop point blade, a nice long drop point here. Nice little straight into the belly, into a nice pokey tip. Fairly thick blade stock. You have dual thumb studs and a flipper tab. This might be the nicest Nedfoss knife I've checked out, or one of them. You have flow-through construction there, 2 standoffs, and then you have internal milling on the steel liners. The liners are not recessed, if you're wondering. They are basically flush with the G10 scales. And then you have this overlay here of kind of like a laminated carbon fiber look. I really like that there's nothing on the show side of the blade there. That's a nice touch. They decided to just go ahead and put the N on the pivot, which I think is ultimately the right move. And then they have the steel choice back here, D2 on the clip side. D10 is nice and stout, guys. Yeah. D10 is tuned very well for the thumb studs and the flipper tab. That's and that can be hard to do sometimes. Getting the detent right on a knife that has a rear flipper or a front flipper, and then also making it, you know, where it should be so that it feels good to use the hole or thumb studs. Yeah, that feels good. The only thing I wish they would just go, if they're going to put anything on the pocket clip, just go with the emblem. Man, this is a great looking knife here too. Very good looking knife, a full size knife. Now we're going to check the edge on this thing because it looks extremely well sharpened. And I could feel it too when I touched the edge. I could feel that it was nice and bitey. Yeah, I can just I can feel it going into that nice little layer of skin there. They put a hell of a good edge on this thing. Very good edge on this thing right here. This is, it just came to me. This is called the Dolphin, the Nedfoss Dolphin. Because I was looking at a couple, and one of them was the Dolphin, and one of them was the Black Mamba, I want to say. And this is the one we decided to go with. Man, that thing is razor sharp, guys. And then you got this long blade here, too. Very long. What is that coming in at? That's coming in at 3.5 inches of cutting edge. So that's definitely a good size, and you're well over 8.25 for overall. So this is not, you know, it's not a massive knife by any means, but it's a good size. This is a little bit bigger than I was anticipating. So D2, you know, as far as I know, they nail the heat treat on the D2. And everybody should be. Anyone using D2 should be nailing the heat treat. Of course, there's, you know, mishaps with the steel in a mass production level. But for the most part, the D2 should be done right. They put a screaming sharp edge on this guy. You got multi-deploying options that are all functional. They all work very well. You have good access to the liner there. Nice chamfer on that guy. Easy to get to. It's damn near perfectly centered. I'd say it's off a touch to the show side. That could be just a matter of turning the pivot. Let's see what we got for hardware. So we got T8. Let's see if that did anything there. Oh, yeah, that's centered right up. So if I would have checked it right away, probably from me kind of flicking it back and forth here, might have caused it to move, or it wasn't tightened all the way, one of the two, but it straightened right up. And then as far as lockup, we're sitting at, that's like 50%, like right on the nose. So I hope it's solid. We're going to see. They do put a little bit of oil in there to keep everything lubricated. This is impressive. These are coming in like, I want to say right at $30. And typically with them, you can get, you know, a discount code or the knife is on sale already. So at $30, D2, a good build, a good blade shape. I wonder how thick that is, too. I want to check that. This isn't normally stuff we check, but I'm interested now at this point. I'm invested here. So about 123 or so. Let's check again. It's a fairly thick blade stock. So like 128 or so. So it's not dainty by any means. And then it comes down not really thin, but fairly thin. And they put a screaming edge on this guy. You got a stop pin there. They tuned this very well. This particular one, and I'm pretty sure, I think it was JB I saw unbox one of these, and I'm pretty sure his was very similar. I think he was, you know, for the money, guys, $30. I mean, that's pretty impressive, is it? So it won't be reversible for the pocket clip. You do have deep carry there, and it is a very minimal clip there. Why don't we see what this looks like going in and out of pocket here. We'll grab the G-ball hank, grab the knife. There'll be a tiny bit sticking out. See, and the seam of this is a little bit thicker, so it's actually a good, how do I want to say it? A good example of what it'll be like to get over your pants. So the screws not being recessed may cause an issue depending on how thick your pants are. It looks like there's a decent amount of room in there, but having a tiny bit of trouble getting it all the way over the hank. Now, like I said, the seam of this hank is pretty thick. Let me try putting it in my pocket real quick and just see what we got. Pants pockets are going to be a little... Okay, so it goes right over. It is a little tight up in here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing either. And what I mean by that is it's going to give you a little added retention in there. So you can kind of take that as you will. This is not going, this isn't a $300 knife that should be, recessed screws would be a good touch, right? And it would make sense, and I'm sure at some point that's something they will ultimately end up doing. But this is going to be a user. You're going to buy this knife. If you're going to buy this knife, it's going to be because you need a folding knife that you can use and beat on, that you can trust. And, something happens to it, whether it gets busted or stolen or what have you. It's $30. Not that $30 isn't something, but, it isn't $300. So, if somebody's buying something like this, it's because they need a user or they need a first time, it's a first time buyer looking for, just to get their first knife or something like that, or a gift. Let's see what kind of lockup we have. We have 50% lockup on that liner. Man, I'm telling you what, guys. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I've had probably 10 Nedfosses in at this point. Of all kinds of different styles and sizes and everything. I've literally batoned one of their knives through, a 3-inch round log, and it kept coming back for more. It took me hitting the spine of the knife with a hammer and shearing the stop pin, basically the edges, the little tips that go into the scales. I had to shear them off with a hammer in order to break it. I actually still have the knife. So they do some impressive work over there when it comes to making an affordable knife that is functional. And they have fun too. They have some, more unique designs, we'll say. They have some crazier stuff. But then they have stuff like this that is completely user-friendly, nice and functional. I mean, D2, it is what it is. D2 is a great steel. Some people don't like it. Some people absolutely love it. And, the main issue is corrosion. But if you got a good coating on this guy, like you have here, it's going to be, a great steel, especially as an everyday user. Should be easy to open up, with the thumb studs, with the flipper tab. If you have a gloved hand, flipper tab will work good. If you are bare hand, thumb studs and flipper all day. And then you'll be able to get to that liner easily. So the only, small question mark is the pocket clip here. Two things, one is an aesthetic thing. Just do the logo there. That'll look so much cleaner. And then I would say You don't have to recess the clip into the scales, but just do some flat top screws, some recessed screws. Instead of the protruding screws, it would just pocket so much better. I would say that's the only, con, I guess, is the pocket clip there, or the only nitpick, I guess. But like I said, I just shoved it down in my pocket and went right over those, and then it was just a little grabby. So not too shabby at all. We'll do a full overview of this guy here in the coming days, and we'll actually be doing a full review on this as well, seeing what that D2 is like and how it will hold up maybe against a couple of different materials. But first impressions, and all things considered, this is my favorite Nedfoss knife to date, and they absolutely nailed this one. Had they hit that pocket clip right, for $30, this would be a budget I mean, it's a budget banger, but this would be at the top of that list. I mean, detent is perfect, great size, clean show side on the blade. The pivot looks really good with just the end there. This looks good. This looks really good like this. So the aesthetic is there. All the function is there. Aside from a little question mark on the pocket clip there, but I think they got a winner here with the Dolphin. Let me know what you think of this down below in the comments. Do you have any Nedfoss knives? Does this one look interesting to you? I love hearing from you guys, so let me know down in the comments what you think. Hit the thumbs up before you head out. If you're new to the channel or you've been here before and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple new videos. Go check one of them out, and I will catch you on the next one.